Why are you having those
Right.
symptoms?
So again, going back to the concept of the doctors of cause. Okay, that's what I say. We are doctors of cause, not doctors of effect or symptom. Okay, so in order to determine this, now again, let's go back to some medical. People may understand this a little better. If you had diabetes, okay, what is the first symptom of high blood sugar? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
If you had cancer that was the size of a pea, what's the symptom?
Wouldn't have.
Wouldn't have one. In fact, high blood pressure, what's the first symptom? In fact, they call it what? The silent killer, because it causes heart attacks and strokes. So if you don't have a symptom, you can't determine what's wrong with the patient. You have to run a medical test. So in order to find out if you have diabetes, you got to run a test, a blood test.
Yes.
Okay. If you want to find out if you have high blood pressure, you got to put the cuff on and measure it. If you want to find out if somebody has any problem, like a colon cancer, you have to run a colonoscopy, correct?
Yes.
So in order for us to determine your level of health, okay, we have to run a medical test. Now, the primary test that we work in our office, I know, Dr. Jess, you use some of the same tests I do, but the main one, well, there's two, okay? One is a nerve scan, okay? But before we even talk about that, we have to back up and explain why the nerves. Why is that so important? Well, Dr. Jess, we've discussed this many a time, but what controls all other, when I ask the patients this, what controls everything in the body? What do they typically say?
The heart?
The heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they say, well, can you jump start a heart? And they go, well, of course you can. Well, it's really, the answer is the brain. Okay, the brain controls every living function of your body. Controls every cell, gland, and tissue in your body. Now, if your brain stops, do they have a special test to jumpstart a brain?
No.
So once you're dead, you are dead, and that is brain dead.
Yes.
And so understand that if you've lost your neurologic function completely, you've lost your life. Now, if you've lost your if you've cut, like, so for example, like Christopher Reeves is the classic example.
Right, Superman.
He fell off of a horse, broke his neck, right? He lost heart functions, stayed alive because of a miracle of modern medicine called it a heart a pacemaker. You know, he couldn't breathe, an iron lung kept him breathing, and ultimately what killed him, do you remember?
Infection, wasn't it?
It was an infection. He ended up with pneumonia. And because the immune system couldn't be signaled by the nervous system, because the nerve system was damaged, the immune system never fired up, and he couldn't kill the infection, and he died.
Right.
So without proper nerve function, your body gets sicker and sicker, weaker and weaker, until it becomes a disease.
Okay.
So the idea is we got to get that nerve system working at optimum. So one of the first tests is we've got to run a nerve test to measure the function of the nerves.
Right.
Now, the other test we have to run is an X-ray, because the X-ray is going to show us the degree of damage that's been done to that nervous system. So if the vertebrae gets out of place, a term we call subluxation, you put pressure on that nerve, the brain can't signal the body properly, and the body starts building itself sick, and the body sends signals called symptoms.
And that's where we come in, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because if we render an adjustment to correct the subluxation, then what's going to happen? The nerve will be cleared, and the body will start to heal, and the symptoms will disappear.
So let's talk before and after here. We've got a great example of this. First, I want to give our phone number again, 303-669-2146. If you're sick and tired of chasing symptoms at your medical doctor, sick and tired of getting a drug thrown at every symptom that you have,
Exactly.
you know, we are the people that can help you with that, right? Doctor, just like you said, doctors of cause. We'll look for the cause of that health problem, get that cause corrected, and if there's no cause, then there's not going to be any symptom, right? And that's what we're going to help look for. And the number again, 303-669-2146, 303-669-2146. The first 10 callers get that free wellness evaluation in our offices.